Hello everyone. Let's study the rise of nationalism in Europe. Age of Revolution 1830 to 1848. Spiraling towards the very beginning of the revolution, July 1830. The Bourbon kings were overthrown by liberal revolutionaries and they installed a constitutional monarchy with Louis Philippe at its head. This revolution sparked an uprising in Brussels, which led to Belgium breaking away from the United Kingdom of the Netherlands. The romantic imagination and national feeling was felt throughout this revolution. Culture played an important role in creating the idea of the nation. Art, poetry, stories, and music helped express and shape nationalist feelings. Romanticism is a cultural movement that sought to develop a particular form of nationalist sentiment. Language played an important role in developing nationalist sentiments. The Russian language was imposed everywhere. Due to this oppression by Russians in 1831, an armed rebellion against Russian rule took place, which was ultimately crushed. This all led to hunger and hardship. Europe faced economic hardships in 1830s. The first half of the 19th century saw an enormous increase in population all over Europe. Because of a year of bad harvest, the food prices increased, which led to widespread pauperism in town and countries, which means that the state was in condition of utter poverty. Due to these circumstances, the population of Paris was out on the roads to strike against the rising prices in 1848. The Revolution of Liberals. In 1848, a revolution led by the educated middle classes was underway. Men and women of the liberal middle class demanded the creation of a nation state on parliamentary principles, which are a constitution, freedom of the press, and freedom of association. A large number of political associations came together in Frankfurt to vote for an all German National Assembly. On 18th May 1848, 831 elected representatives marched to take their places in Frankfurt Parliament convened in the Church of St. Paul. The constitution drafted for the German nation was headed by a monarchy, subject to a parliament. The crown was offered to Friedrich William IV, who was the then king of Prussia, but he rejected it and joined other monarchs to oppose the elected assembly. This goes to show that during that time, monarchs were not in favor of diluting their power to the state and were fighting for full autonomy from the public. The middle class dominated the parliament and a large number of women participated in the liberal movement. Women formed their own political associations, founded newspapers, and took part in political meetings and demonstrations. But even after this active participation on their front, they were denied suffrage rights during the election of the assembly, which goes on to prove the pitiable plight of the womankind during that time. In the years after 1848, the autocratic monarchies of Central and Eastern Europe began to introduce the changes that had already taken place in Western Europe before 1815. Thus, serfdom and bondage labor were abolished both in Habsburg dominions and in Russia. I hope you have understood the chapter. Now you can go to EduRev's site and give the respective test to cross-check your understanding on the subject. Thank you very much.